Joining us now is former superintendent of the Chicago Police Department, Jody Weis. Thank you so much for being here. Jody, what do you make of the Democrats pushing this message of joy and optimism inside the DNC while thousands of anti-Semitic protesters are rallying just outside, clashing with law enforcement?
Yeah, it's kind of that old saying, a tale of two cities. Inside, I'm sure it was all wonderful. Outside, the police were in, a chaotic situation, and I think they really performed well. I think they used really the appropriate level of force. They kept things contained. It didn't get out of hand. And I have read reports where people have complained like, oh, it's been an overwhelming show of force. Well, there's nothing wrong with overwhelming. Overwhelming does not equal excessive. And I think really the city of Chicago should take their hats off to what the Chicago Police Department has done through this. I think they've found the appropriate balance. But yeah, definitely quite a dichotomy between inside the United Center and on the streets.
And when you watch the other media from the left, they don't really touch on this much. They're still pushing the message of joy and unity. A lot of these speeches from Obama's or the Clintons, but they're not showcasing what's actually happening on the outside of the United Center because it might not fit the narrative of what the Democrats are pushing. Do you think that the Democrats have done enough to condemn these protests?
No, I don't think they've had. I think they've lost some great opportunities to come out and say, stop this violence. It's kind of the story we've seen all along. I haven't heard any of them making any mention about a recent assassination attempt on July the 13th. So I think there should be more of a condemnation of the violence that's taken place, because in some instances, the cops are really in hand-to-hand combat with some of these protesters. And of course, America, you have the right to protest, but you don't have the right to destroy and vandalize and burn things. So I think it would be very helpful if somebody might have stood up and one of those speakers and say, hey, let's calm this down on the outside. We're better than this. But I haven't heard that. I wish I had.
Do you believe that these people are from Chicago that are protesting there? Or do you think that they're an influx of outside agitators, maybe even paid agitators?
John, I think it's a mix. I think you do have these professional agitators. I know I mentioned that the other day. They seem to show up at every city. And obviously someone is funding them. And you get some locals too, but I know when you look at the arrests, there's probably, I don't know, a third or so that I've heard are from the outside. And, that's going to happen at any of these big events. But yeah, some people are just paid to go out and cause this mayhem. And, again, I really want to compliment the Chicago Police Department. I think they've struck the right balance of the use of force to control the situation, allow people to protest. But when it starts getting into the destruction and the thing that's going to get just too dangerous, I think they've swooped in and then used whatever force was necessary to gain control again.
That's exactly right. Law enforcement have done a great job there. We got to leave it there. Thank you so much, Jody Weis. Appreciate it. Thanks. Come on. Appreciate it.
Thank you.